Okay, so you're lying on your backs in Shavasana, feeling the support of the earth underneath you, and our theme for today is opening to the mystery. And just give yourself a few moments here to open to the unknown and the mystery of not knowing how the experience of this class will be, of not knowing how this retreat will unfold for you necessarily. And yet, even within these unknowns, there are some certainties. We can feel that support of the earth underneath us, the always waiting earth. We can drop into our bodies. And let our breath come into our lower belly. I have a blessing from John O'Donohue to begin our time together. It's called For Presence. May you awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. May you have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. May you receive great encouragement when new frontiers beckon. May you respond to the call of your gift and find the courage to follow its path. May the flame of anger free you from falsity. May the warmth of your heart keep your presence aflame, and may anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. May you take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. May you be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. And may you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Okay, so from here, we're going to come and make our way up to a seated posture. So you can bend your knees, roll to your side. And our first seated posture is going to be butterfly pose. So you may want to have a couple of blocks. You probably will want to have a couple of blocks or cushions underneath your knees to fill the space there. And then you can either use a bolster or stack some cushions and create a bit of a foundation for yourself there and support your head as you fold forward here. So when we practice yin yoga, in many ways we open to mystery. It's inherent in the quality of yin, but also because we are accessing the meridians when we practice yin yoga. You know, the traditional Chinese medicine meridian system is in itself a mystery. Many have expressed doubts about the existence of meridians and qi or energy, the energy body, even. And even though everybody has meridians, they're not something that can be seen or touched in our bodies. They're in that way quite mysterious because they can only be sensed. Okay, so you're going to slowly release this pose from your body and make your way onto your back to feel the rebound. And then for our next pose, we're just going to roll over onto our stomachs and we'll come into Sphinx pose. So if you like to have a block for that, for underneath your head, you can get that block ready. So we start resting on our belly and maybe even just rocking your hips from side to side to release your low back. And then let your body be relaxed as you walk your elbows underneath your shoulders. And a couple of options here are to walk your elbows forward a little bit if it's too much for your low back. And also if it's too much strain for your neck, you can always place a block here. Take that strain out of your neck as well. Oh, I found the other day that the eye pillow on top of the block makes it just perfect too. Very nice and cushiony. John O'Donohue reminds us that human identity is complex. Nothing is ever given simply or immediately. And when I read this morning, I was reminded of Linda's comments in the retreat about that, nothing is ever given simply or immediately. She spoke about how her life has unfolded, the unfolding of her life being a mystery. And, thinking back on all the occupations that she's held. So nothing is ever given simply or immediately. And I think we can all relate to that in the unfolding of our lives, how nothing has been simple or immediate. Even the simplest act of perception has many layers. Time and memory often reveal things later that were staring us in the eye, but we never noticed them. The quest for the truth of things is never ending. To be human is to be ambivalent. Every experience is open to countless readings and interpretations. We never see a thing completely. In sure anticipation, our eyes have always already altered what awaits our gaze. The search for truth is difficult and uncomfortable. Because the mystery is too much for us, we may opt to settle for the surface of things. Because the mystery is too much for us, we may opt to settle for the surface of things. Comfort becomes more important than true presence. Comfort becomes more important than true presence. This is precisely why we need to tune into our bodies and come into our felt sensations and present moment experience. Okay, so you're going to slowly lower down onto your belly and feel the energy moving through your body. And then you're going to roll back onto your back. And on your back, we're going to come into the gallbladder meridian with banana asana. So take your legs over to the left side of your mat. Your arms can come overhead, and you'll side bend over to the left side of your mat as well. So remembering the principles of yin yoga when we are practicing here, that when we come into the pose, we want to soften and yield, allow and surrender, that we are stimulating the meridians, and that it's not something that we have to effort or do, that we can allow this mystery to unfold for us just by simply taking these shapes. So in this pose, we're simulating the gallbladder meridian. And here we're back to contemplating the mystery of the meridians. So they have never shown up in an MRI or a sonogram. They've never shown up in surgery. Not something you see when you dissect a cadaver. So they maintain a kind of mysterious element to them. And yet, across many cultures, there's an agreement, there's sort of similarities between cultures. You know, Chinese believe in qi, Ayurvedic medicine believes in prana and the nadis. This is an openness to the mystery of something deeper, maybe something like spirit moving through the body, moving energy through the body. So, very slowly, you're going to release Banana Asana from your body. Come back to center and feel the chi that you cultivated in your body. And then we're going to take it on the other side. So you'll take your legs over to the right side this time. And then you'll side bend to the right as well, knowing that both sides are going to be different and that you're going to choose an appropriate edge because you're going to be in this pose for a while. So you want to choose an edge that you can be with for that you can soften into and that you can be with for some time. Okay, so very, very carefully you're going to draw back to the center and feel the echo. And then we're going to come up onto all fours, and we're going to be making our way into pigeon pose on the right side. So you may want to have your bolster for this if you like to have your bolster under your torso for a pigeon. Also, if pigeon puts a lot of pressure on your front knee, then you're going to take eye of the needle on your back instead, so that you can still really rest and receive the pose with those yin-like qualities. So we'll start with your right knee coming forward, your left leg coming back and down. And if there's space between your right buttocks and the ground, then fill that with your second blanket. And if not, you're going to fold forward. If you're feeling any pressure or sharp shooting pain in the knee, do take eye of the needle on your back. So David White speaks about entering into mystery on an hour by hour, day by day basis. And when he does this, having a sense of being right at the center of things and walking through a very personal, private letting go, but through it all, settling onto a very firm ground in that interior darkness. He calls it a new ground, an actual territory of wilderness. It is as if this personal interior unraveling has been a necessary inner correspondence to an equally powerful outer raveling, a making of meaning through creating an almost overpowering sense of absence at the center, an invitational mystery through which something central to the pattern can be invited in order to reorder everything that had previously been so well arranged in the outer world. An invitational mystery through which something central to the pattern can be invited to reorder everything that had previously been so well arranged in the outer world. This internal doorway to the unknown has like the veiling of a mist on a mountain. It's always held both a deep fascination and a fear for human beings. Master Eckhart, the great 13th century Dominican mystic, said, "God is pure absence, an astonishing and spacious nowhere that allows everything to be oriented in its pull." Okay, so very carefully and slowly going to release this posture from your body. And you're going to either line your stomach or your belly, whichever is calling for you most in your body. And you can feel the movement of chi through your body. And then we're going to roll over and come back up and do the pose on the other side with the left leg. So bringing the left knee forward to the left wrist and reaching your right leg back and long, knowing that this side is going to be different, moving slowly to come into the pose. Knowing the eye of the needle is still an option on this side, even if you didn't take it on the other side. Okay, so you can release this pose either on your belly or your back again. Okay, and then for the next pose, you're going to need your bolster down by the left side of your body. We're going to do a cat pulling its tail, so reclined twist. And I'll get you to bend your right knee, keep your left leg extended, tuck your left hip under, and then you may or may not want your bolster on the left side, but I kind of like it there so that it supports my right leg when it's extended. And then hold on to your left foot with your right hand. So you want to feel sensation along the front of your left thigh, and we'll hold that twist here. Okay, so slowly release this pose from your body, pressing into your feet to lift yourself out of the twist, giving your body a chance to unravel here in your back. So David White points out that our visual media, especially social media, tells us that not knowing is unnecessary and thus corrupts our sense of what constitutes real exploration. Likewise, in our virtual travels, it is rarely possible to meet many beautiful representations of lack of knowing. But physical unknowing tells us through our very vulnerability that we are at last in the presence of mystery, of something, someplace, or someone we deeply desire, or that represents what we desire through what we do not as yet in our essential physical helplessness know how to bring it about. The unknown is the exquisite and vulnerable frontier between what we think is possible and what we think we deserve. Okay, so if you're using the bolster, bring it over to the right side of your body now. And just see a notice on my screen. Okay, Tim, can you just check that the battery is plugged in properly? Oh, it's not plugged in. Can you plug in a battery there? Thanks.
What's happening? Warnings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you look after the screen there? There, perfect. Okay, it's all right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect works.
All right. All right, so you've got your right leg extended, your left leg bent. You press into your left foot, you tuck your right hip under, and then extend your left leg either on the ground or on the bolster, whatever is working best for you and your body today. And then bend your right leg and you hold onto your foot with your left hand, lying back in that twist again. Okay, so find a way to let this pose out of your body, pressing into your feet and untucking your hips. And then we'll make our way into the final Shavasana. Good idea to take a bolster underneath your knees. So Jonna Donahue says, in our time we suffer from the loss of the sacred because our respect for the mystery has completely vanished. When your soul awakens, you begin to truly inherit your life. You leave the kingdom of fake surfaces, repetitive talk, and weary roles and slip deeper into the true adventure of who you are and who you are called to become. The greatest friend of the soul is the unknown. Yet we are afraid of the unknown because it lies outside of our vision and control. We avoid it or quell it by filtering it through our protective barriers of domestication and control. The normal way never leads home. And I have a poem for you too here as you continue to rest back in your Shavasana. It's called Mysteries, Yes by Mary Oliver. Truly, we live with mysteries too marvelous to be understood. How grass can be nourishing in the mouths of lambs. How rivers and stones are forever in allegiance with gravity, while we ourselves dream of rising. How two hands touch and the bonds will never be broken. How people come from delight or the scars of damage to the comfort of a poem. Let me keep my distance always from those who think they have the answers. Let me keep company always with those who say, look, and laugh in astonishment and bow their heads. So just very slowly and gradually make your way up to a seated meditation posture. And when you come to seated, you can sit on a cushion, on a chair, kneeling on a block. Just feel your connection with the earth underneath you. Allow that stability of the earth to lengthen your spine. Open up through the back of your head. Draw your ears back over your shoulders. Feel the opening through the back of your neck. Slight tuck in your chin. Let there be space between your teeth. Your tongue will float in your mouth. Your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And just take a moment to open to the cultivation of chi that has happened over the last hour. Also honoring and welcoming any insights or awareness that arose from your practice today. And then also taking a moment to acknowledge yourself for setting aside this time for yourself today and through this coming week. It's a really big deal. There aren't many people that are taking this kind of time for themselves, for this kind of interior experience. So just take a moment to acknowledge that, that you are doing this for yourself. That this is a beautiful act of generosity and compassion and loving kindness. And then I'm going to open up the line so that you can all have a chance to respond to your experience and speak about your experience. Did I unmute? No, I don't think I did. There you go. I was like, oh, wow, you're all still muted. That must be me then. I'm going to put my glasses on too.
Well, I really needed that. I didn't realise how drained I was just from being around so many people, and I'm not used to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just having that space now just to get really quiet. It just really settled me down, and I just feel so much more relaxed and peaceful. I think coming into the new year, I felt okay. I didn't really feel that much pressure looking back until, I don't know, I just had a little moment last night where I thought, oh, actually, what do I have to show for the year?
Mm-hmm.
And then I just thought, oh, what does it matter? I think it's just from being around other people, and
Mm-hmm.
they're coming out with, people have had babies, and people have been travelling, and they've done this, that, and they've got these tangible things that they can show for their year.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't really show people,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's going on, but I can't show people that. It's an internal kind of, it's an inside job. It doesn't have any trophies to show for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one quote that I had in this class that really spoke to that. I forget what it was now, but it was like, I feel like I'm gonna. Anyway, I'm not sure I'll be able to find it really quickly, but it really spoke to that. Because I feel like I can relate a lot to that too. And I wrote, anyway, I'll find it later. But yeah, I feel like I was in the exact same place as you this morning, especially just feeling the energy of, we speak a lot about the interpersonal body and really feeling the energy around me over the last few days. I was feeling really quite triggered and activated, especially around just really getting pulled into a lot of social media posts, just exactly what you're saying about people posting about those external markers of their success. And that feeling that really feeling that land in a kind of violent way for me in my own psyche. Because internally, like you say, exactly like you say, was a really different story, which was, there was so much opening and releasing of tension and unraveling and softening and compassion that happened this year. But that's not something it's not measurable or tangible, as you say, right? I mean, it's something that you feel and you sense and you inherently know. It's not something that you put on your Instagram. Listen up. Can I get some likes for my more compassionate heart in 2017?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if I could show a before and after of a wheel pose in 2017, December, wheel pose in 2017, 2000 and November 2017, everybody would like be like, yeah, oh yeah, right?
Yeah.
Now that's progress.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think what triggered it off for me was that I actually wrote about this in the comment section today. Somebody that I just met, she asked me what I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, inside of me, I'm going, how? I don't even know how to answer you. Because I don't have, like, a job, like I can, you know, that's the social norm. Somebody asks, what do? You say, well, I'm a chef, I'm a teacher, I'm a this or whatever, and that's your label, and that's, you know, that's your thing. And I don't have that. And so I just come out with, oh, I'm at home, and there's the automatic, oh, you have kids. No. Oh, you're a kept woman. Which I don't find offensive. What I find difficult is just trying to explain, well, what do I do? It's like, how do I explain this? And I was talking about this with Martin. I said, what do I say to people? I just this same old thing again. It's like, yeah, I should say, well, I just create stuff. And he goes, yeah, you should say that. Say you're an artist. Say you're a life artist. So, yeah, that will be. I'm sure that would go over well with people. But I think that's what triggered it. But
yeah, of course.
you know, it didn't last for very long. That was something that was very interesting, because I was feeling triggered on different levels, being in social situation, but it just wasn't having the same effect in my body. And I'm over it pretty quickly. It's just like, well, what's happening right now? So there's the meditation practice kicking in. So,
And you know what I hear you saying, and the way that I've been relating to this as well, is that the way that I've been experiencing it, and you know, you guys can tell me if this is true for you, but you know, these experiences that they sort of shut us down in our bodies. That's sort of my experience of it. There's that tension and shutting down. You can feel it, and the restriction in the body. Like, that's how I've been experiencing it over the last few days. But that when I enter into the realm of my body, the kind of more what we're in this class we've been terming the mystery. There's a spaciousness and openness and relaxed, you know, it's just much more vast.
Yeah. Because I felt that whole tension in the solar plexus, and just feeling, oh, I'm constricting, and then, yeah, what's really happening in my body is it's just a different story. I think today, actually, just getting quiet like that in class, it just really shows me how your body just wants you to pay attention to it. You don't have to do anything except quiet.
Yeah, and I think therein lies a really important point, right? Is that it does take getting quiet and still to be able to listen to your body.
Yeah.
At least maybe at the beginning. Because I think that probably all of us, well, so I think it's probably, like you said, it's easier for us because all of us here have a fairly consistent meditation practice. It's easier for us to notice when we get pulled off course because we feel it in our bodies right away more. We feel that tension. And then I kind of forget where I came from. I'm getting a bit dopey hungry here. Oh yeah, the needing to be quiet and still.
Yeah.
So I think probably at first there is this need to have the stillness and quiet to be able to touch into the body, but that the more that training, the more training we have, the more in touch we are in our bodies in everyday circumstances, and we can recognize when resistance comes up more quickly and come back without, otherwise our whole lives would need to be lived at, at a snail's pace, which isn't necessarily true either, right? But it does help to drop in. And also I think it does show too that most and a lot of our life is lived at a ridiculous pace.
Yeah. Yes.
That we can't keep up with, right? That we're just trying to do too much and at too quick a pace that is out of alignment with our body, right?
Yeah.
That our body does prefer to move at a slower pace.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I felt like this whole year I've been at it at like, I don't know, a speed of just constant doing things and keeping up with things. And I mean, I did it to myself too, I think, but it's just constant like anxiety, stress of doing everything and being everything when this Christmas season, nothing was perfect, but you know what? It was fine. And that's when I'm finding that space to say, you know what, maybe all this ridiculousness that I have in my head, maybe I should just, tone it down a little bit, because it's fine. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. And to some extent, we can make choices that allow us to have more space.
Yeah, but I think I also put too much pressure on myself all year with different projects, and which I know I did it to myself, because it's just, I should just pick something and then go with that. But like it was just like a whole year of I couldn't keep up with what I needed to do, and that's how my whole year felt. Like I just couldn't keep up. But when we're coming down now, like just to find the space to do yoga and to do this yin practice and to slow down, I feel better. So I need to continue that into this new year. Just find that space to really slow down a little bit. Pay more attention to what my body's telling me, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking about when I was little. I'm talking 8, 9, 10 years old. However old I was when I first started reading Nancy Drew. If you know who Nancy Drew is. And how intrigued I was from reading those mysteries.
Mm-hmm.
Books that I had absolutely no control over. And that brought me back to Christmas when I had a hard time getting into the Christmas spirit this year. So I tried to get in touch with my inner child. So it really brings me to a point to where I want to investigate a little bit more and looking at this mystery of life thing from a child's point of view, knowing that in the big scheme of things, I don't have control over it. And feeling the intrigue instead of the fear. Is that making any kind of sense whatsoever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that it's, I've always been a little bit scared of the unknown. History has shown me that most of the time it works out perfectly okay. Maybe not in the way that I would have planned it, but it's all been okay. Just life lessons along the way. So why not just be intrigued by it all? That's where I am. It's just kind of like, this could be interesting. This could be intriguing. You know, I don't really have control. Nancy Drew always did okay. She held my attention. So, I'd kind of forgotten about the mysteries. I mean, you know, they're fun. They're fun. So let's have fun this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true, right? We just try to control everything and make it all work out, and we just exhaust ourselves and cause so much tension doing it along the way. And
Yeah.
To what end?
If I'm in control, I'm usually going to make a bigger mess out of whatever. This is what I've learned.
Yeah, when I'm like in control, I'm usually like so tense and
Mhm.
wound up and not sleeping and
Yep.
experiencing a lot of anxiety. But things are like,
It's putting those ducks in a row that causes the anxiety.
yeah.
Trying to keep them in a row.
Yeah, trying to keep
Yeah.
them all in a row.
No, you want to wander off.
If you know ducks, they never go in the, you know.
No, they don't.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe we'll leave it at that for today. Does that sound good? Because we're going to be together again tomorrow. So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate your presence. And yeah, I think just being okay with the unknown and the mystery. It's just this theme intrigues me, actually, this mystery. It's an interesting one to teach from, because there's nothing to, there's no hat to, there's nothing to hang your hat on with it. It's very yin. I really like it. Yeah. And think it will be interesting to open to it again. So hopefully that won't be the last of mystery. Okay, so I'll see you all tomorrow as your work schedules and such permit. Although I guess it's a holiday for most.
The holiday, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.